Okay, then. Excuse me. All right, let's do this thing. Gonna be a different review today. Impact, hard to kill. I've been waiting to do an Impact review with someone else. Every time I try to do an Impact review with anybody, never really works out half the time.
Wow.
But this time I actually got it. And then again, since there was a lot of things on this show, I was like, you know what? Best to do a double review on this, especially with a lot of information coming out in the past 48 hours for this show and pay-per-view for Hard to Kill. But first off, let my co-host introduce himself.
This the third time running, man. Blxck, and we back in the building. Still DAR elite, nothing different. Back again with the homie Bryce to do some impact. Still killing it, doing what we got to do out here. So let's get it.
Yeah, woo woo. Let's go. Cause a lot of changes were made in the past 48 hours. A lot of matches, information being brought out, and wondering what was gonna be replaced on here. Cause the pre-show. What is there to say about the pre-show right now? Cause
Oh,
one,
I
we
didn't
do
even
have.
know there was a pre-show.
Oh yeah, it was a pre-show.
Okay, okay.
Well, yeah, because the pre-show. Well, first off, we got a new announcer because of Matt Stryker has departed from the company.
Yep.
What was why he departed again? Like, was like a contract thing or was like something else?
See, I don't even know because I only even found out that he left when you told me. So I don't know.
Because I don't know if it was I had to do with the company or I don't know if it was contract was up or something. But Stryker was gone this week, so I'm like, oh, so they got to get a new announcer in. And I guess the new announcer we did get, I don't know if this is full time yet, but
They
Tom,
released
well,
a graphic.
yeah, they did release the graphic, and whatnot. Yeah, that day, yesterday was Saturday and whatnot.
Hmm.
Tom Phillips, or
Yep.
what's his name now? I know it's not Phillips, but
Starts
it's
with a
a,
H.
yeah, I didn't remember his last name all the way, and like I said, it started with an H, but most everybody knew him as Tom Phillips from the
He's still
WWE.
Tom
So
Phillips.
yeah, it's a good get.
Yeah, Tom is great.
I liked him on SmackDown at the time, so I thought he was good. I know it was crazy. When did he get released? Like last year?
Yeah, I think so. He might have been one of them pandemic releases.
Yeah, I think he probably was because I think he was still on SmackDown until they just kind of said he was just he was gone and whatnot. So he just happened like he was there and then he just disappeared all of a sudden. So Tom Phillips, I didn't mind that, but like the pre-show because I didn't really know how many pre-show matches because I know the first one they had was Madman Fulton and Jake something. It was okay. I know you didn't see it, but like it was okay and whatnot. I forget Jake something is even there.
I've definitely forgot he was there until he showed up this past week to wrestle Jonah.
Yeah, and that was just to get Jonah over and whatnot. So because I didn't know where he was lately. I haven't really seen him. I'm like, oh, he's still there. I'm like, okay, well, because I said they got to do something with this guy and whatnot. So
Well, you
it
know
was
what?
it
They've
was
been doing that digital media championship stuff. He might be wrestling on before the Impact because I was wondering the same thing about Jordan Grace. Like, where has she been? But it might be
I
all because of that division or whatever.
I honestly don't even understand this digital media. I watched the BTI shows a couple times here and there, but I really have not paid any type of attention to this digital media belt. Like, honestly, the belt sounds like something. I don't know. It doesn't even sound like a title belt. It sounds like something Sony would make up or something like, hey, this is our digital media division or something like that. Like, like a Sony or a Microsoft or something like that. And then again, it's like an intergender type of thing title they're going with.
I mean, kind of, but all the titles are really intergender because they could have anybody challenge for anything, anytime. I mean, Jordan Grace was challenging for the X Division title last year, so I don't really think it needed to even exist for real.
Yeah, and then yes, remember they did do that with the world title, which honestly I'm kind of glad. Hopefully they don't go back to that because that was a very major mistake of doing that, especially with the world title and whatnot, because that did not really turn out well. So yeah, this whole digital media thing, I guess that's what they're going for and whatnot. But I forgot she even had the belt half the time and whatnot. 'Cause I'm like, oh yeah, she still has that belt, so it's kind of whatever with that.
Because
But
she
at the
ain't
same,
never on the show.
yeah, she really isn't. That's why they have her holding that thing, and I guess going against people on whatever day they. I think it's like on a Tuesday or something.
I have no idea, man.
Yeah, I don't really know. So I guess I don't really watch or keep up with that digital media thing. I just like, oh yeah, she has a belt, but I'm like, what is it? What does it really mean? It's like when they used to have that. I don't even want to say the King of the Mountain belt, but then they have that like, what was it? It was when Billy Corgan was there. That Grand Champion, like
Oh yeah, with
with
the
like,
MMA rules.
yeah, which that wasn't bad. It just wasn't executed right.
I think the idea of having the digital media championship now is because they integrated to YouTube now, so they need to fill out content that isn't just Impact Plus content. So they decided to make a championship where they can air stuff with that title, to bolster up their YouTube content.
Yeah, because it's not like they on Twitch anymore. So I guess that's what they're trying to push is like you said, the YouTube content. But
Because they
you know,
want niggas to pay, bro. So they gotta have some kind of content on there that's not just ripping old impacts from Impact Plus.
yeah, because this is like a payroll. They gotta like, yeah, they're making people pay for it now at this point and whatnot, unless you can buy some live stream or something or whatnot. Because like I said, it was free on Twitch, but now they took it off Twitch, so now you gotta like pay on YouTube. It's kind of like with the NWA, like they were free on YouTube. Now you gotta like pay on what Fight TV just to watch them.
It makes more sense for them because they're not on television, but for Impact to be on TV and then say, well, yeah, we also want to have the same show running at the same time on YouTube, but now you have to pay for it after you've already been watching it for free on Twitch like that. I don't get that, bro, but it is what it is.
I think it's because once again they're still on. Everybody don't have access TV.
Yeah, that's why you should have left them on Twitch. But hey, they whatever, man. Everybody got Twitch, so I don't know what the mindset was for that. I guess they thought they could get some extra dollars doing it this way on YouTube, but I don't know.
See that's Twitch wasn't paying enough. I'm not really sure. Like the viewership wasn't bad on there, but I just think it was more convenient just to have it on Twitch at the same time. But then again, I can just find any free link on the internet and just go from there and watch it and stuff. So I thought that made it kind of tougher, given like I said, no, I don't. Everybody don't have access to TV, so that's another thing. And like the second pre-show match was like a fatal four-way. Chris Bay, Ace Austin, um, who else was in it? I know they debuted Speedball, Mike Bailey, and
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, he debuted. And I'm trying to remember gosh, shit, who was in the fourth man in there? I haven't really seen in a while. It was like a whole X Division thing going on and whatnot. So
Was
like,
Laredo Kid?
Laredo Kid, yeah, thank you, Laredo Kid. It was Laredo Kid.
See, I didn't even know that, but he the only other X Division nigga they featuring, so I just figured it was him.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad match. Yeah, Mike Bailey got the win. Like I don't know much about the dude. I remember hearing they signed him, but it's like I heard his name here and there. I just never really watched him like that. And like he pinned Ace Austin, which honestly I feel like his push has gone real down nowadays.
They don't really know if they want to push him or not because it seems like every time they want to push him, I mean, they were really running with that he could be the youngest world champion thing for a long time, and then it just never came for him. And then he lost to Christian, and it was like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And they really haven't gone anywhere. So, I mean, I kind of feel like that about Chris Bay too. I mean, they hyped the hell out of him joining the Bullet Club and everything, and he's on the pre-show now. Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, because I look at both of those guys. I'm looking at the show the other night. It's like, okay, what, Ace Austin and beating up Hernandez and Johnny Swinger is like, that's all y'all got for
Exactly.
now.
I said the
And like,
same thing.
and and with Chris Bay, it's like, yeah, you put him in Bullet Club, but you kind of put him with like the C Squad members of Bullet Club. And if Jay White was still on the show right now, I think it probably would have meant a little bit more with him being there. But Jay White was only there for a minute before he start whatever else he's doing in America right now, like probably doing the New Japan Strong show and stuff like that. Because it's not like he hasn't been back on only that one little time, and that was kind of it. Which I'm honestly, I'm still surprised Jay White is still in America. I'm surprised he wasn't on Wrestle Kingdom, to be honest. But like I said with Chris Bay, it's like what you just got him out there with who Hikuleo and
El
El
Phantasmo.
yeah, El Phantasmo, but he was only going to be there for only a little time being before he was back in Japan currently right now. So I just kind of feel like it's like it's not like nothing really going on. It's like okay, he's in Bullet Club, but it's not like it's no big major type of thing. It's like I say, it's you got him with Hikuleo out there. It's not like you got him with any of the top Bullet Club guys. Hell, it's not. I would like to see the guy in New Japan, see what he does over there. That'd be interesting and whatnot. It's just like he just kind of in Bullet Club to be Bullet Club. So that's why I wonder why he's on the pre-show right now. So it was what it was with the pre-show and whatnot. But I was just kind of surprised. It's like, oh, Ace Austin's taking the pin. Like, where's his push nowadays? So I don't know what's going on with that. But the actual show, kicking it off, 6-way X Division first, not X Division, but Ultimate X match. First time they've ever done it with women. Tasha Steelz, Lady Frost, Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, Rosemary, and Alicia Edwards, because they took Rachel Ellering out. I don't really know why they took her out, but they put Alicia in.
Now, I mean, first of all, I'm actually surprised it's taken this long for them to do a women's Ultimate X match. I mean, they're kind of the have been known as the front runners for the push of women's wrestling in North America, and for them to just now be getting to a Ultimate X match for the women, it seems just kind of surprising. Not that they should or shouldn't have, but I mean, I'm just thinking about the women who were there. You know, your Gail Kims, Awesome Kongs, Taya's, Rosemary's. I mean, it's just very surprising that they just now got to a Ultimate X with the women. But I know the Iconics, from what I've heard, or the Inspiration rather, were not on this card because allegedly for COVID reasons, and that's allegedly the same reason Cody wasn't on Battle of the Belts, and people were saying because of the wedding that just passed, they were all there.
Oh
But then I'm
yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah, for
Chelsea Green
Cardona.
was in the match,
Yeah,
right?
Green was
So
there. Cardona was there. Uh,
that's why I was like, I don't know if that's the reason or not, but that's very weird that she's there. So I don't know if Rachel picked up an injury or if she was at the wedding or what, but that was just really weird to me that that was what was being said online that yeah, COVID because of Cody and inspiration and all that is that's the reason, but Chelsea Green right there taking bumps and stuff like okay.
same with Matt Cardona. He like it was his wedding, but um, they were still on the show and whatnot. Because I'm like, how many people really did get exposed to COVID? Because there was several people either there from Impact or AEW or WWE and whatnot. But I've seen a couple of the photos because like what Miz was there and Kurt Hawkins was there and several other people. So I don't know if they all were exposed to COVID, but that's a good question though. It's like okay, the Inspiration can't defend the tag title, so we got to cancel that match. But still, like you said, Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona was there, and Cody couldn't even make the Battle of the Belts thing due to you know COVID protocols and whatnot. That because someone they were exposed to. Not saying they didn't get it, but for
Right.
precautionary reasons, they gotta back out right now, which is looking more common nowadays.
Yeah, it seems like a new influx of COVID cases that seem to be going around, and I don't really know why that is. I mean, because we obviously were never really out of the pandemic, but for like a long stretch there in 2021, it just seemed like you could go to wrestling shows and all the movie theaters and it'd be no problem. And then all of a sudden, it's like, nah, we back in how it was in 2020. All of a sudden, I don't know why that is.
Yeah, because either cases are going up, whatever this whole Omicron thing that's going on. Even though a lot have said it's more contagious, but apparently it's like what a 99% survival rate. and whatnot. But then again, you don't know who has the Omicron and who doesn't have it. But what I've been seeing lately, either a lot of restrictions are being put back up, schools ain't opening, a lot of places gotta shut down, or over here in Chicago now they saying like to get into some places you gotta have a vaccination card just to get into places now.
Yeah, they were saying that last year too. At the beginning of the year, they weren't playing, and then it just got mad lax. So I don't know, man.
Because now they enforcing that shit now for real. Like they really are enforcing it, or you're gonna have to be paying these heavy fines, and you go into jail nowadays and stuff. Because honestly, now I'm kind of contemplating now if I even want to go to AEW next month, back to the Wintrust Arena. Now I'm kind of feeling a little bit skeptical about that right now.
See, I don't remember who said it, but somebody who went to an AEW show said they were doing that Vax stuff, but they weren't even really doing it. Like you just had to show a picture of of a Vax card that you were going to be let in. So, I mean, the fact that people can kind of just fudge that and just get in, I don't. It's kind of like it's posturing. Like, yeah, we're enforcing it, but we're not really enforcing it. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Because I mean, when I went there, nobody wasn't really even checking for no cards. When I was there back in November and whatnot, nobody really checked. All I did was just go through the metal detector, and that was it. Ain't nobody really asked me about no card or and nothing like that. I just walked up in there, and that was it. Like probably now they gonna start doing that. Now it's some type of federal law thing over here or something like that, because now they really are enforcing it. But before, like I said, folks probably just made up a card or some fake ID and just okay, here you go. So I can go into, whatever bar or whatever place now, because that's the places that's making it real tough to get into and stuff.
yeah, and I counted probably like three niggas in the crowd on Hard to Kill that had a mask on. So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw at least same. I saw at least maybe 3 or 4 people. Like when I went, like it was a lot of people I saw that had masks on, including myself. So it's not like they like when I was there. It looked like it looked like it was a lot of people that had masks on. Like some didn't, but there was still a lot of people that did have it, but you're gonna see that in the crowd. Like either a lot do have it or a lot don't. But once again, weren't they in Texas?
I would say it might depend on where you are. I mean, you in Chicago, they in Texas, so
So yeah, Chi-Town a little bit more different than Texas and whatnot. Because like you said, it was only probably maybe what 3, 4 people that had a mask on, and everybody was just like fuck it. So like
Yeah,
you,
one
you
nigga gave his beer to Eddie Edwards and he drank it. I'm just like, niggas don't care about COVID, bro.
I'm like you sure you want to be doing that? I'm like
Wildin', bro.
I'm like okay, hey, just you man, like it's whatever, but hey, I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know we were going back that far again right now. But I'm just saying, like the stuff I'm seeing right now, it does look like it's kind of getting bad. I'll just say this right now, and I don't want to like predict nothing, but I even said to people I know around here, don't be surprised if this city go back on lockdown again.
Get ready for the Thunderdome.
Oh, yeah, get ready to go back to Jacksonville,
Yeah, really, man.
back to wherever Impact was filming at. I think it was Nashville, wherever half these shows were being filmed at half the time. So I said, don't be surprised, because I'm not, I don't want to say too much, but the way I'm seeing things right now, it ain't looking the best. So I'm gonna just go on from that. But
Yeah, people were rushing, man. They went about opening back up the country way too fast, man. And we like as soon as the numbers started going down, we were opening the country back up. Like nah, bro, you can still get this joint, bro. And it may not be lethal to you, but who wants to get that, bro?
like,
Period.
I ain't trying to catch that shit. Like, yeah, hey, you lucky if you asymptomatic and whatnot, but this stuff affects everybody differently and whatnot.
I
Okay,
don't even
like
want a cold, nigga. Like, what you mean?
I ain't even trying to catch a cold, but hey, so many people try to tell me like, oh, you all have to understand it's just like the common cold. I'm like, dude, it ain't the fucking common cold, okay? It's like the common cold on steroids. I said that a long time ago about this whole thing. All right, you all
Niggas be
need to
saying that like you want to catch the cold too. Like, bro, I don't want a cold. I don't want a flu. I don't want COVID. I want nothing, bro.
like it's like, oh, you all need to understand. Everyone's gonna catch it regardless. You just need to accept it. And I'm like, I ain't trying to accept this shit. What the fuck is you talking about? Accept this shit? Because
I'm
I
saying.
I be side eyeing some folks sometimes. Like, either you're gonna go out there or you're not. It's just like we don't need to be prisoners in our own home. I'm like, dude, this ain't prison, okay? Being in the comfort of your own home ain't prison.
And that's why this shit's still around, bro, because nobody want to take it seriously. Nobody want to stay home. Nobody want to vax. Nobody want to get masked up. Like, that's why we still in this, bro, because y'all don't want to do what you were supposed to do at the very beginning of this.
Yeah, so that's why we, like I said, we still in the predicament we have. And like I said before, nobody knows how this stuff mutates all the fucking time or whatever it does right now. Or like in France, they said it mutated into something else. Like, oh, it's not the Delta anymore; it's something else. Like, dude, how many times this stuff gonna mutate? Because I don't even know at this point. But I already knew it before. Like, this shit ain't going away anytime soon. I knew that a long time ago.
Nope.
I just learned how to adapt. Either you adapt or you get left behind. I just
Yeah,
I
it's natural selection, bro.
'Cause I didn't panic like a lot of other people, lose my fucking mind being
Buying
in
all the toilet paper.
when that toilet paper being around. I still need food, but I ain't lose my mind being stuck in the house. Like, I'm gonna lose it, man. I'm I need to be. I gotta get out there, man. I'm losing my fucking mind. It's like jail in here. It's like slavery. Yeah, slavery. Really, really. I'm like, come on now. So, like I said, like right now, it's really in the iffy zone right now because even I'm kind of skeptical. Like, you know what? Maybe I better not go to this other thing right now. I've been to enough parties in the past month or two, and whatnot. I can sit this one out
Yeah.
and get what I mean. Yeah, go fuck with hoes another time. So and stuff.
Ah, ah. Hey, it be like that, bro. That's facts.
Okay, I'm like, yeah, I got stuff to do, and I got hoodies and shit to make. So it is what it is on that one. I gotta get this thing machine fixed. This stupid heat press thing won't work now. I feel like I gotta buy another one and stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah, back to the main point though. Yeah, the ultimate X match though.
Yeah, people when that Mickey James news dropped about the Royal Rumble, everybody was like, "Was this does this spoil that Mickey James is going to beat Deonna Purrazzo?" And I said, I mean, when they announced this Ultimate X match and Tasha Steelz was the only heel in the match, I kind of thought that spoiled that Mickey was going to retain because when you got one heel in the match with a face champion, that automatically made me feel like Tasha was going to win and Mickey was going to retain. It probably would have stood better for it to be 8 women in there, so you could put Savannah in there, Havoc in there. I don't know why they didn't just make it 8 women, but I mean to have one heel in the match, I just automatically thought Tasha was going to win, and I wasn't mad at all that she did because I mean I'm a huge mark for Tasha Steelz, bro.
Oh yeah, well, I was cool with Tosh Steele's winning. I didn't think about the only heel thing like you just said. I guess I wasn't thinking that. And like we're gonna get to the Mickey James part later, but I kind of thought, yeah, with her being in the Royal Rumble now, that kind of, in a way, I thought that kind of gave it away and whatnot. But I was cool with Tasha. I just kind of forgot she was like the only heel in the match. So I'm fine with her winning. I'm cool with that. Like the match,
So
it's okay, a little sloppy here and there, but it's the first time they've ever put women in an Ultimate X match in general. It's not like they're the fucking X division.
yeah, and what sloppiness was in the match, none of it looked like botched spots. It was just people slipping and stuff like that. Stuff that really anybody could have, like Chelsea slipped off the Ultimate X cables or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you've never done this match before. I would expect some rough edges, but nobody did anything that looked crazily bad or anything. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, it was cool and whatnot. Else there was a lot of moonsaults off the scaffolding. I can say that.
Yo, Lady Frost did that moonsault. I was like, whoa, that was nuts, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, why she so far away from the cable? And she did a damn moonsault. I'm like, okay, all right.
they were really going off the scaffold. Like, all right, moonsault, dive. I'm like, don't slip, don't slip, just don't slip, okay? Just do not slip and fall, because that would look really bad then if that happens, and whatnot. But like I said, I'm cool with Tasha. The match, like I said, the match was what it was and whatnot. Like I said, you were gonna get some high spots here and there. So Tasha Steelz winning the Ultimate X. I'm cool with that decision.
And you know I'm a big sucker for pay-per-view gear, man. Tasha came out clean, bro. I was like, oh, that's that I'm about to win look right there, bro.
Oh,
That
she
was
had like the
fire.
top hat. Yeah, she had like the top hat on and
Hell yeah, bro.
like with the jacket and stuff, like almost like the ringmaster. I was gonna say some T-Pain type of thing, but that it was a cool gear she came out with though. So that wasn't bad. What else did they have? I'm trying to probably skip over the interviews because I know they had talked like several people in the back from Deanna and Gail Kim saying
Oh
that.
no, we don't need to cover not
Yeah,
in
let's
one
not cover
interview,
that part.
bro.
Let's get to the next match. Trey Miguel versus Steve Macklin for the X Division title.
That was a banger, bro. I loved it. That match was awesome, man.
That shit was cold. Trey, especially him doing the whole Spider-Man thing still, with the gear and the spray paint and whatnot. I thought Macklin was winning this match.
I thought he was too. And I'm happy he didn't because I mean, just because I thought he was going to win doesn't mean I wanted him to win. Because I mean, Trey hasn't done too much with the title yet, so I feel like you got more legs on this title run, and whenever he loses it, then Macklin can get his shot and beat whoever's next. But yeah, I thought for sure he was winning this
Because
match.
the way they put it the other night, Gail Kim told him, if you don't win this one, this is the last shot you're getting right now for the
That's it.
title and whatnot. That spear he did, I know he didn't go out of the ring all the way, but when Trey Miguel was upside down, he did that spear from the outside of the ring. That
Lord,
looked brutal because he didn't even fall out the ring.
man, that spear was nuts. The RVD spot where he jumped at him in the crowd, landed
Oh
on a
yeah,
woman. I was like, yo, this match is nuts, boy.
it was insane, insane. And yeah, I gotta give it to Steve Macklin though, because I've said before, this guy has literally reinvented himself ever since he stepped into Impact. Because I knew he was gonna go there anyways, well, mostly because of Deonna Purrazzo and whatnot. But it almost amazed me, like, wow, this guy was just a nothing in that whole Forgotten Sons thing in WWE, and then he comes over here, like he's just cutting these promos and putting on these fucking crazy matches. I'm like, where was this guy hiding at?
Sometimes that's all you need is to step away, man. That's how I feel about Morrissey right now. Like sometimes all you got to do is just go somewhere else and get your feet wet doing something else. I mean, that's where the whole argument about WWE's developmental system, how they're running things now, because you got to go out and get experiences other places in order to grow who you really are as a performer. So now that we're seeing this version of the former Steve Cutler, man, I'm like, yeah, this dude going crazy out here. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, because I'm like, where was this guy? Where were these promos at? Where were these matches at? I'm like, because he was just like literally nothing in the Forgotten Sons, and I've clowned the Forgotten Sons, NXT and the main roster and whatnot, because they never really did anything in both places. Because most everybody thought they sucked, and they really did suck.
Yeah, they had a I remember in the Dusty Classic, they had a few bangers in there, and that was really the first time people were like, "Wait, the Forgotten Son's kind of cool," but they didn't really capitalize off of that, and they didn't win, obviously. And it's then they got called up and did nothing. It's like, yeah, this they had it in them the whole time. You just gotta harness that and use it. But I'm
Because
glad he's getting this opportunity now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I've said before, like I thought they were gonna get a push though back at when they got to the main roster, but you can kind of blame Gunner for that whole fiasco. Why that push was stopped in after that. Jackson Riker, Gunner, whatever you want to call him, but he's kind of the reason why their main roster thing didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really think they were gonna go anywhere that much, anyways. But the way they were
No.
pushing it at the time, it looked like they were, but Gunner fucked that whole thing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that he ruined what they could have been, but I don't think they were going to do anything with them anyway. I mean, you had a better group with Sanity, and they got the same treatment. So, I don't think they ever saw anything with them. I mean, you can even tell that because once they broke them away from Gunner and they put him with Baron Corbin, what they did that for like 2 weeks, and then that was it. So,
Yeah, they were like what is Stooges for like like 1 or 2 weeks, and both got released at separate times, but like they still end up getting released in general, and they, like I said, they didn't really do nothing. They didn't have nothing for him, then they just let him go. So, that's like I said, he made the best choice though. Going to Impact right now because I'm like, yeah, where the fuck was this guy hiding? So, like I said, I think they got bigger plans for him though.
oh yeah, he'll This was just a stopgap to get that undefeated streak out the way, give Trey a nice win on pay-per-view to move him on to something else. But he's Steve Cutler's or Macklin's going to be all right. He's going to get his time for sure.
Oh yeah, it's coming, it's coming. But yeah, it's just give it time. Like I said, it's just a little gap right now, and like I said, Trey ain't really at the X Division title that long. Or had that many defenses right now, so let him, kind of get some more wins under his belt right now. Because I can say this, like, it's doing better than the former Rascals. I gotta find it funny. They says, "Oh yeah, this guy, who those guys with him at the beginning? So a couple of Rascals, I bet."
Yeah, I didn't think that's what that was supposed to be until Tom Phillips said it on commentary. Because first, when they came out, and D'Lo was like, "Did we just enter the multiverse?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, the different Spider-Man, that's cool." And then Phillips is like, "Maybe there were some rascals with them." I'm like, "Oh, is that what that was supposed to be?" Like, I guess.
Because I thought it was some Spidey thing they was putting on. I'm like, oh, okay, the Rascals. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where y'all going with that. But overall, like I said, great match, very enjoyable. Next, the Ring of Honor World Title on the line, which they even brought. Well, we saw a lot of Ring of Honor people on this show, but they brought in Ian Riccaboni on commentary and Bobby Cruz as the ring announcer. As it's about to be Jonathan Gresham versus Chris Sabin for the Ring of Honor World Title in a Pure Rules match.
I didn't even know it was going to be pure rules until the match itself, because I don't think they said that until the match happened on the graphics and everything. I don't think it said pure rules, but this was a really good swerve because I never expected any other ROH presence on this show later on because we got it all right here. I didn't even expect Ian Riccaboni or Bobby Cruz out there. All that was really cool, and it kind of just turns your mind off from the idea of anybody else showing up. But even all that said, I thought this match was a banger too, two in a row.
Oh yeah, this is great. And with the Pure Rules, like I've seen a few Pure Rules matches. Back in Ring of Honor and whatnot. I know it's not everyone's favorite style of wrestling and whatnot because more technical. Like I said, it's a rule system to it too. I like it. It's more mat based style of wrestling and whatnot. And they kept saying, "Well, Saban's been owed a title shot for the past 3 years when he was over there in Ring of Honor and whatnot." And like I said, it's nice to see ROH, still around in some type of form of capacity right now because some people still don't really know what the future of Ring of Honor is right now because let's remember all these guys are technically released. I think, or if there's still some type of loyalty to the company, then okay. Because even I want like, oh, okay, Riccaboni's here. Okay, Bobby Cruz is here. We're gonna get to the others later, but I like I said, I just thought we were just going to a Ring of Honor World Title match with Gresham and whatnot because I know what Gresham has some Terminus promotion up, but this match was very smooth. It was really good. They kind of got me with the false finish and whatnot when Saban got the pin and whatnot, but they're like, no, his foot's under the rope. So that was like the second rope break because it took me a minute to understand the rules to the Pure Rules match.
That's actually really good because I have watched a lot of ROH since they've implemented the Pure Rules Championship. So it's interesting hearing the perspective of somebody who hasn't really watched it. Because to me, I was just like, well, why aren't they implementing the 20-minute time limit? And I'm like, oh, Pure Rules, blah, blah. But now hearing it from your perspective, who hasn't really watched it that much, yeah, it's really interesting. But
And
underrated is, oh, go ahead.
oh, my bad. Because the thing I was gonna say, I didn't really know what the pure title was many years ago until it came back not that long ago, and that like somebody I know he knew more about Ring of Honor than me, so it took me a minute to understand it. But I did see some of the matches during the pandemic and whatnot when they were in the building in Baltimore and whatnot. At the arena, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a very interesting match. I know some people kind of turned off by it, but I thought it was different though.
Yeah, all my favorite wrestlers are the guys who tie you up, like the Kurt Angles, the Benoits, the Zack Sabre Juniors, the Roderick Shangs, the Pete Dunne. Those are my favorite kind of wrestlers. So I was all in on the Pure Rules Championship idea, and it's really cool seeing that with him being world champion now, Jonathan Gresham is implementing those set of rules into his title reign. One thing you said though, you brought up The 2018 Chris Sabin deserved this title shot a long time ago. Like that's why I love Ian Riccaboni so much, bro. Like I hope whatever's going on with Ring of Honor, whatever the future holds, somebody sign this man because a lesser commentator would have never said that. You could have just left it as, well, yeah, Chris Sabin versus Jonathan Gresham because we wanted a match on the card, whatever. But Ian Riccaboni gave you a reason why this specific match was happening, and that's just great commentary, man. If every commentary team had somebody who did that, we'd be better off for it, man.
Yeah, continuity and whatnot. Yeah, that's the like, at least we got like a background. Like, okay, this is why this match is happening. At the same time too, like, okay, all right, he was on a title match like 3 years ago or whatnot, and now he's finally getting it and whatnot. And yeah, I saw the match, and I see the chat room, man. A lot of people's going back and forth about it because some people, they'll put the thing that's against Gresham sometimes is, of course, the size thing and whatnot. Because how tall is he?
Short as fuck.
Yeah, very short. Because I mean, me and my other friend, like, we was talking about him one time, like, a while ago. This is when he was like, damn, they're killing everybody and just holding all these belts and whatnot. And then he was kind of confused, like, wait a minute, they get this guy out here looking like Ultimo Dragon with all these titles, and he's beating Jay Leto, and he's calling himself the Octopus and whatnot. He said, get Squidward's cousin up out of here and whatnot, because he thought it was kind of crazy that he was just getting this big ass push and whatnot. And like I said, I've seen Gresham, like, I've seen him more in the past year or two now, and he really is that damn good and whatnot. But some people just got thought that, wait a minute, Chris Sabin just lost to a 5'1" guy on here and whatnot. And even I remember when they had Gresham in New Japan for a second, I mean, the best of the Super Juniors, I think he was like the shortest person there.
Yeah, but people are so hung up on height. They're not even paying attention to what he's doing. Like, first of all, dude is built like a brick shit house, bro.
Oh, hell yeah,
No
Jack to the
neck.
gills.
He just all muscles. He's heavier than Chris Sabian for one, and two, he wrestles a style where he uses his lack of size, if you will, to his advantage because he's crawling all over you and putting you in all these different submissions and everything. D'Lo on commentary is explaining why it's called the octopus stretch because it puts 8 points of pressure on you. I'm like, yo, this shit is cool, bro. I don't care. Height be damned, bro. Jonathan Gresham is the man, bro.
But yes, Jack, like I said, dude's jacked to the freaking gills and whatnot. So, like I said, there's a reason why people still want to see him versus a Danielson or
Hell yeah.
CM Punk. Like Danielson, I would like to see more though and whatnot.
Under pure
But
rules too. Give me
yeah,
that.
yes, definitely under pure rules. Because at one point, I damn near called Gresham a few years ago. I'm like, he reminds me like a mini version of Brian damn near. Like they both are very similar in their style of wrestling and
Yeah,
whatnot.
man.
Very similar. So, like, I would like to see that whenever that happens, because he did say he wanted to challenge, um, one of them for the Ring of Honor title. What do you think about them? Him using the original Ring of Honor belt though, and not the current one they had.
Um, I guess they're just doing that because they don't want to strip Bandito of the other title. So they gave him this not as an interim champion, but an equally recognized world champion until I guess they do that match. That's just my thought on it.
Yeah, possibly. Whenever Bandito's back in the fold, and if he's still holding that title, they probably will want to do that because I'm like, oh, we're using the original Ring of Honor World Title. I'm like, okay, then. And I know some of you didn't want to bring it back, but under the recent circumstances, I get why they brought this belt back right now. So, still Gresham, he still ended up retaining the title. I'm sure at some point we're going to see Gresham show up in probably more multiple companies and whatnot defending the title though at other places, because it was a surprise when I heard he was even going to be defended on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, the card was already crazy, and then they just threw that match in there. I'm like, oh, so we just were looking for some bangers on Hard to Kill. I feel you. That's cool. I'm
Cause
all
like,
for it, man.
yes, I'm like, oh, okay, Ring of Honor title. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's let people know that Ring of Honor is not dead, supposedly and whatnot, and it's still around. Because right now, like I said, everybody's totally released, so we don't know who's jumping to anywhere, who's thing, because they still got some months until they get to April. So we'll see what happens next with Gresham. But this is a very nice treat, and the crowd did love it.
Oh yeah, especially those last like 2 minutes where they're just trading strikes and holds, and it was so fast paced. I'm like, this match fucking rules, bro.
Yeah, that shit was bonkers though, for real. That was definitely bonkers and whatnot. So yeah, he got him with the roll up pin, like the bridge and whatnot, and retained the title. So that was great. Next though, Josh Alexander versus Jonah.
Another banger, bro.
This was great. Jonah, man, the former Bronson Reed out there, formerly. This was insane.
Hell yeah, man.
So like, wow, what do I have to say about most? It told a good story, mostly focusing on Jonah's ankle, where Josh Alexander, because like basically how can I say this? Technical versus power in a way.
Yeah.
I would say that, and I'll say they've done a good job of at least keeping Josh Alexander occupied with something else. You know, he's still in that contender for the world title, but okay, we're gonna have him do something else right now. And like I said with Jonah, it's almost like it's a different person in a way, but still kind of the same. But this was a great match. There was some crazy shit in here.
Yeah, this match just made me even more confused with the direction that uh, WWE's hiring process is. They want young, big guys, but they had a whole Bronson Reed there and released him. Like you get an Odyssey Jones, who's cool, I guess. They got Von Wagner and all that, but you had a young, big dude right there who could go, who was TV ready, who can have bangers with anybody, and they let him go. So this was kind of his coming out party in Impact. I mean, he got a squash match against something this week, and I'm actually surprised he lost because I thought the whole point of them focusing, like the angle they did this week, where he put Josh through the table and even more injured his ribs, I thought for sure that was going to be the catalyst for him to beat Josh this on Hard to Kill. But I'm actually happy he lost because Josh needed to get that title back. But yeah, this match was nuts, bro.
And I think it's because also, I don't know if they say he was under like a short contract thing with Impact because he is working with New Japan also. So I don't know if he wanted to be more on that. I think he should be on both if he's gonna like work with both companies. But I my bad words and stuff. But yeah, apparently he's under like a short contract term thing with Impact because I actually kind of thought he was gonna win this match and whatnot. I didn't really expect him to tap out. Also, I was kind of like, oh shit, he tapped out. I'm like, okay, I didn't see that coming. But I thought it was like I said, crazy match, and like I said, this is a guy that's already ready for TV. It's like the difference between him and the guys you got on NXT, like big guys. The guys on NXT are still really green, and they're not ready yet. Okay, like they're not ready, and they're not TV ready and whatnot. At least Bronson Reed, he's got some traction on him and whatnot. And yes, he was still in NXT at the time, but like I said, the guy has just been putting on a lot of good stuff lately and whatnot. And this was an example of another one. So I think he may be brought back to Impact at some point, but like I said, I heard it was like a short term deal. Because, like I said, I enjoyed this match a lot. This motherfucker did a damn moonsault and whatnot.
Bam Bam Salt.
Yeah, so the crowd went nuts, and like I said, people have compared him to like Bam Bam Bigelow, um, also. So I did enjoy this, but yeah, this is obviously a way to get Josh Alexander back towards the title and whatnot. But very enjoyable match.
What I also liked about this match, is something that Impact hasn't done in the past that they really did on this show, um, including the Macklin and Trey matches. They didn't put the WWE guy over their homegrown talent for the sake of doing it. They showed that we have confidence and we're going to run with the homegrown guy because we know they're great. So they had Trey beat Macklin and they had Josh beat Bronson Reed. And I'm completely happy with that because history has shown if this were a different year, they wouldn't have done that. So I thought they made the right call. And what more could you ask for? Josh out here doing crowd dives and shit. Like this
Yeah, that
match
was
was
insane.
amazing.
Yeah, because Impact has had that problem though in the past when they brought in former WWE guys before, and they immediately go over like the homegrown talent, or they already pushed them at the top because, like I said, former WWE guy, it's already traction and whatnot. So, like I said, at least they're that confident enough in the stars they've homegrown built in that in their company and whatnot to go over former WWE or guys and whatnot. So at least it's different right now. Because in the past, like, if they brought somebody in for WWE, and it depends who it is too. That person probably would have went over as it is already. So at least this was different, and Josh Alexander went over. So like I said, very enjoyable match. Really
That's
enjoyed it.
they put 3 bangers in a row on this show, bro. Like back to back to back.
Oh yeah, they was killing it, really killing the first few hours. Next though, I don't know if the next one was a banger or not, but the Hardcore War, Good Brothers and Violent by Design versus Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Heath Slater, just Heath, now Heath Slater, Eddie Edwards, and Rhino.
Um, I mean, the match itself was fine. I just don't care about any of this, but the match itself, like nobody did anything wrong, and people bled and people got hit with stuff. I just question doing this kind of match on the same card that you're going to have Deanna and Mickey go, do the same thing. It's kind of counterintuitive to me. Uh,
Agreed.
they're
Agreed.
their version of War Games without the cage, pretty much. But yeah, it
Uh,
was fun.
yeah, I didn't hate it. I feel like they could have done something because I just felt like this was an excuse to keep the tag belts on the Good Brothers. I feel like they just need to get the tag belts off of them at this point because I feel like they just kind of holding it to be holding it. And even I said, what other tag teams do we got right now? Because
None.
yeah, like none. So it just feels like they're just holding the belts to be holding the belts. And yeah, like I said, it was a lot of hardcore stuff. What you expect. They fucking botched that 3D Swan and Mac and whatnot. I think that was mostly Swan's fault, but
Well, did they botch it? Because they
they
when
missed
they
they
don't
missed
do
the thing,
the
the door, right?
well, I mean, he went through it, but I think people didn't react right because they were expecting it to be a 3D. But whenever Willie and Rich do that move, Rich always does the bulldog and not the cutter. So I think people were like, "Oh, he missed and just didn't get." But I mean, they always do the bulldog. But and, whatever. It's a minute thing.
Like I said, I just think it's because he missed it. So I think that's possibly why. But like I said, it was just hardcore stuff, trash cans. I thought it looked a little bit ridiculous with Eddie Edwards setting the kendo stick on fire and then hitting Luke Gallows. What it's like, dude, the fire didn't even touch him. So why is everybody chanting, "You sick fuck, you sick fuck"? I'm like, the fire didn't even touch him. Like,
Yeah, he should have wrapped the stick down more. He just put it on the tip. Pause. Like like he just little tip was on fire. You should have put the wrap all the way down the stick so you get that. Like when Mick Foley would light Barbie on fire and stuff like that. Like it should be a visual, little spark of fire at the end of the joint. Like nah, bro, light that bitch up, bro. Smack him with it.
Definitely, and just between that and there's a couple other spots. What pile drivers going through the table, and
That was a
Bar.
spot of the match.
Yeah,
I'm
Eddie
surprised they
Edwards
didn't
and
have
Eric.
Rhino do it.
Yeah, Eric Young doing the pile driver on Eddie Edwards through the table on the outside. That was brutal. That
How do
was
you have
very.
Rhino in this match and he not be the one to do that spot? That's his whole thing. The power driver off the apron through the table.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that for. And then what he brought in a Dallas Cowboys helmet and Rhino got Carl Anderson with the gore and won the match. But I look at this match and I just kind of feel like it's a lot of these guys involved. I feel like that don't really have a lot going on right now. Swan and Mac just are just kind of a team, just to be a team, and it's kind of damn near far cry. You look at Swan like what over damn near 12 months ago when he was the world champion. Then he just after the whole Omega thing, it just kind of disappeared, and he just happy go lucky and being a tag team and whatnot. They just kind of went past that. Eddie Edwards at this point, I like Eddie Edwards, and I've always said he kind of need a personality. And at first, I was with this gimmick, but I think it's time to stop. Crazy Eddie, it's run its course.
He's
It's
in
it's
the he's in the Dolph Ziggler position where he's been here so long. He's done everything that when he comes out, it's kind of hard to really care about what he's doing now because there's nothing really different about him since he started this hardcore gimmick, and he's just fighting the same people, doing the same things. It's like maybe he could use with a change of scenery, which will never happen. But Yeah, anytime I still like Eddie, but anytime he comes out, I'm just like, okay, well, here we
Because
go.
even I said like by God, just hire Davey Richards back. I know he's back in wrestling. Like, I know he's on MLW. They said they teamed up with each other not that long ago, apparently, on some show that had to do with Impact. I'm like, please bring the Wolves back. Then I'd rather see the Wolves back at this point now, because I just feel like Eddie is just kind of like almost like a purgatory type of thing right now, especially with this gimmick. So it's like it is what it is. Slater and Rhino. I'm okay with that. I get it. Even Violent by Design, I feel like they've kind of lost some steam after a while and whatnot. So it just kind of felt to me like a lot of guys don't really got much going on. Like I said, Gallows and Anderson, they just kind of holding belts to be holding the belts, just like that. So, like I said, it wasn't a bad match. It was
Who
just kind of
cares?
there. But then, the post angle though, and I guess there's some type of Ring of Honor invasion going on now. What Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, the OGK, Vincent, PCO, Maria, which I thought was kind of weird, because I'm like, wait a minute, didn't Matt Taven and Vincent just have some blood feud that went on for months, and now they're teaming together?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
thought this was weird immediately because first OGK came in and I'm like, okay, so where's Maria? This is OGK coming over to Impact, taking over. But then Vincent came in and I'm like, oh, so Kingdom is getting back together with okay, just like you said, didn't they just have a whole feud and everything? And then PCO came in and I'm like, oh, so this is just a Ring of Honor invasion. Like okay, we just got goodwill from Ring of Honor not even an hour ago, and now it's like ROH is taking over. Like, okay, is this where we're going with this? And then later they had Roxy in the crowd just chilling, and I'm like, so was
well,
this sanctioned by Ring of Honor or like what are you
I
doing?
understood the Roxy part. The Roxy part I understood, because let's remember Deanna Purrazzo was on their pay-per-view calling her out for the title and whatnot. So I kind of understood
No,
the Roxy
it made
part.
sense for her to be there, but in the context of this angle being on the show, like Ring of Honor is taking over Impact or whatever, and then to just have her out there like she was welcome there is very weird to me. Like I feel like you gotta pick one. You can't have Ring of Honor taking over while also being welcomed in the building and everybody being cordial about them being there. Like they didn't even mention the fact when Roxy was out there that yeah, we saw Ring of Honor taking over early, like an hour ago. Like they were just here. Like I mean, Scott was mad backstage, but that's really as far as that whole angle went. So I was very confused by it. Not that it was bad or good. It was just like well, how does this make any sense? Why are they teaming up in the first place? And I don't know. I think I would have liked it better if it were just OGK with Maria, because I feel like they're already a team and it would make sense for them to come in and want the tag titles. But I digress.
And let's remember, Mike Bennett and Maria were in this company before. Like they
Yeah.
were like a few years ago and whatnot. So at first I was surprised to see him, but then when I'm seeing like more ROH guys show up, it's like, all right, is this some type of invasion angle now or something? Because I'm sitting there like, okay, how many ROH guys really about to show up tonight now? Because it just felt random all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, okay, wow, we're getting a lot of Ring of Honor on this show tonight, so I don't know what type of invasion angle this is going on, but like you said earlier, like I just expected Jonathan Gresham, like I didn't expect Riccaboni, I didn't expect Bobby Cruz, I didn't expect all these other ROH guys to showing up to start fucking shit up and whatnot. So I'm like, now they just start. I'm like, where's this going? Because like, well, we're gonna see more on the regular show now when it comes on Thursday. Like, who's showing up next? Shane Taylor, or I don't know, Rush, or
Now,
uh,
see, if they were going to do that, then they should have just done that. My main issue with it is because of who it was. This random collection of guys when they already have established groups in ROH. So if we're doing like this is a quote unquote ROH invasion, you could have had this just been Shane Taylor Promotions or Violence Unlimited or the Foundation, especially since Gresham was there. Like the fact that it was just a random hodgepodge of wrestlers, who of which we see don't like each other on Ring of Honor. It was so weird that this is what they went with for this.
yeah, it's not like they brought in like some top stars from Ring of Honor, and like I said, this is just like some random guys, and like you just said, some of these guys were just in a feud literally not that long ago, and now they're all buddy team because we got to represent Ring of Honor now all of a sudden because it's like it's not like it was some top guys you brought in and whatnot. So I don't know where this is really going, but it was
Or
just
EC3's faction, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, that's at least new.
I don't know, man. That to me that would have made way more sense than this random group of guys. Like I don't get it, but
Yeah, to go
hey,
control your narrative. But yeah, this just felt like just some. All right, here's some random Ring of Honor guys. Let's see if people care about it. So, it was what it was, but kind of strange at the same time that it happened right there.
I,
But next, wait, you gonna say something?
I was just going to say, I mean, it went over well. The crowd reacted to it, and that's all they had to do, I guess. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it looked like they knew who they were, I guess. But next, though, the Impact World Title on the line. Moose, Morrissey, and Matt Cardona. Were you surprised this wasn't the main event?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because nobody cares about Mid Cardona.
Yeah, because I look at who's in this match. Like, so you got Moose, Morrissey, and it's Matt Cardona. It like I just look at Matt Cardona. I was like, please don't let him win this match. That's all I was about it. And his thing, the match wasn't bad, but it was too overbooked. It was way low key overbooked in a way,
Not
especially when
even low key.
but it was right out there. We had like what 2 ref bumps and Chelsea
Hey,
Green getting
that
involved.
first ref took that spear like a champ, bro. I was like, oh shit.
Like this man is dead, and I'm sitting there looking at this match like, wait a minute, there's chairs involved. I thought a triple threat match had no DQ in it, so why are we now hiding the chairs and whatnot? And it's like you said about Morrissey. It's like it's another one of those guys that found a way to reinvent himself. Because I'll admit I clowned the guy a few years ago, and honestly I thought WWE was in the right in firing him with this shit he was doing, and this guy was just fucking his life up then after he left, and he looked out of shape and getting knocked out at indie shows and fat as fuck. But I guess he got to what I think DDP yoga and because the guy literally turned his whole life around at this point. It's like a redemption story at the same time too, because
Yeah.
before I used to compare him. I always thought I said he reminds me of Test. I always said like he reminded me of Test for some reason and whatnot. But like I said, the guy found a way to reinvent himself. Like once again, DDP yoga usually like it helps a lot of people, and
Go,
like I said, the
bro.
guy has turned his life around and hang around DP and his family or whoever he's hanging around because he even admitted he had like an alcohol problem and whatnot. And yeah, this guy was really fucking himself up when he left the WWE. But then again, like I said, I didn't think WWE was in the wrong for letting him go at the time. I'm like, this guy thought he was the fucking man and he wasn't at the time. But now it's like a whole new person and whatnot. Like the guy's in incredible shape right now and he's turned himself around. He's not known as just a tag team guy and just, saying a couple words and whatnot. Because I told you before, he always like a speaking spell. That's why every time he talked, he sounded like a speaking spell.
Yeah, he talks so slow, like he had to remember his line. I remember very vividly that promo he was cutting on Daniel Bryan before when they were
Oh,
feuding. It was just so slow, like not just heel slow, but like slow, like he's trying to remember what he has to say and everything. Like it just wasn't good, man. That's
oh,
why he only had that one line with Enzo.
yes, Saul. You've got only one word to describe you. Because I remember one of those promos was so bad that Vince had to take it off of YouTube because it was so bad, and he had to take it off. And the whole beating up the midget thing. Vince said, "Don't beat up the midget. You still want to go out there and beat up the damn midget." He said, "If I don't tell you to beat the midget, don't beat up the damn midget. It ain't gonna get over." I'm like, well, I guess Vince was in the right for that one then, because why'd you still beat up the fucking midget then? And Cash just thought he was the man, and he really wasn't at the time. So, like I said, it
Yeah,
was
but
a lot
times
of
have changed, man. Because that promo he cut on Thursday was fire, bro. I
that
was
was
like,
great.
let this nigga win.
Like that, like the people left me behind. Now they want to jump on my bandwagon. Now I'll do this by myself. I got here by myself.
Exactly.
Honestly, I wish it would have just been Moose versus Morrissey, but then again, that'd be a heel versus heel match, and I guess they have to have a face, but it's like, once again, who the fuck really cared about Matt Cardona? It's like, I don't look at him as a main eventer. Listen, I know he's doing that little deathmatch king, whatever he was doing on the Indies, a GCW. Well, maybe that would have worked, but I don't think that's still. Every time I look at him, it's like, dude, you're still like Zack Ryder. It's not like he really reinvented himself. I'm like, yeah, always ready. Yeah, always ready to be a Mick Carter. That's how I look at it. And stuff. So he never felt like a top guy. Maybe that's why he wasn't even really in AEW that long too. But I just sit there like, and I know my other friend, I'm gonna have to ask him another time if he saw the show or what, but my other calls, remember when he kept questioning, like, wait a minute, you telling me Matt Cardona is in a world title picture shot? He was surprised by that shit. He didn't believe it. Hello? Hello? Okay, we got a little technical difficulty. Gonna fix that in a second. You there? Yo. All right, give us a second, folks. Just experiencing a little problem here. Must be a internet connection thing. Okay. Shxggy. Yo. Hello. Okay, like I said, we're working on a technical thing right now. Oh, apparently the call dropped. He will be calling back any second. All right, but yeah, hopefully you heard all the stuff I just said. It's all the time. Okay, we got incoming call right now. Yeah, we should be recording back now and whatnot.
Yeah, this
All right. Yeah, it's recording right now. Go ahead. I
this
think.
match just exposed a problem I've been talking about for like the last 2 years with Impact. Man, they don't have anybody that you can gravitate towards as a true star in the company, right? When they I think what Rich Swann won the world title in that 4-way, 5-way, whatever it was, and it was like Eddie Edwards and Eric Young and Ace Austin and Trey. And at the time, I was like, they do none of these dudes should be world champion right now, except I guess Eric Young. And from there, right, Rich Swann won the title, and he went on this run, not really doing too much with it until he lost to Kenny. Kenny's out here wrestling the only guys who have any kind of credibility as a top guy, Sammy Callahan and Moose. And now Moose is world champion, but we still have the same problem that nobody is really elevated to that level. I mean, you have Morrissey there, but you can't do heel versus heel. So the only guy you're supposed to gravitate towards as a fan is Mid Cardona, and nobody believes this guy should be world champion. I told you what two weeks ago when that angle happened, whenever it was, I said this is built like Mid Cardona should win this match, right? Like he got punked out in front of his woman, right? He got
Mhm.
dropped through a table, and then he hit his own woman with the chair. So I said this is either leading to Mid Cardona winning or Chelsea turning on him. So the fact that in this match, neither of those things happen, he comes out looking so much worse for this. And he was never elevated to be more than what he already was in the first place. So it's just like, why did we even do this? If you weren't going to main event the show with this match, you could have just done Moose versus Morrissey, unless you just didn't want Morrissey to take a L. But I mean, they gave Eddie Edwards a win over him, so you can't just let Moose beat him. Like, why did we do this whole Matt Cardona thing to just end up in the same position we were in before we started doing this? It's just like you said, the match the moves were good. It wasn't even a bad match, but just who cares, man? Like
And it
who
was once
cares?
again overbooking and
Hella
whatnot.
overbooking.
Two referee spots, bumps. Chelsea Green is involved. She's got to get knocked down, and I'm glad Morrissey wasn't pinned here and whatnot. But it's like you said, like you can't really believe in Matt Cardona. And you look at some, like I said, a lot of the people they got in the company right now. Who's really kind of hold the world title like that. You go from guys like Swan. I kind of felt it was kind of premature with Swan, and then like you said, who did he really face? Okay, I didn't need to see Rich Swann versus Tommy Dreamer. I didn't really need to see Tommy Dreamer really getting a title shot in general and whatnot. But like I said, after the Omega thing didn't help. Like Eric Young, I was okay with, but that was only like a short term thing. Kind of same with Eddie when he won it the second time and stuff. So Moose, I feel like is the only one with credibility right now that can be the world champion and whatnot. Because I felt that was just long overdue and stuff. So I
It's
just felt
just
like
him and Josh at this point.
yeah, just him and Josh Alexander. Like I said, it's a good thing they did that stuff back at Bound for Glory because it now puts more sympathy on Josh and whatnot. Like I said, you don't really have a lot of main event guys out of like what, maybe 3, 4 people. And like I said, you're trying to push the narrative of like Matt Cardona is like this main event guy and building all this sympathy for him. It's like you said, this guy has to win the title, right? He's been punked out here. His girlfriend's been hit in the face by a chair. She's getting knocked down and all this stuff. And they tried to play it like, well, it's their honeymoon and whatnot. So he could win the world title right here. And I never really believed it. And I knew he was going to take the pin. I just knew he was. I would have
Of
been surprised.
course.
I would have been surprised if he didn't take the pinfall. But
The
he
only
was
reason it was a triple threat.
that's the only reason why. So I just felt like it is time just to move on from the Matt Cardona, Mick Cardona. Like I said, if the Mick Cardona thing really didn't help either when they called him that, because everything
Nope.
Morrissey said about him was true. It was
And then
all,
he lost.
and he still lost. He still lost. They all told the truth. Like, yeah, you're a Mick Carter. Like, yeah, man, let's talk about you winning the Intercontinental title one day, then losing it, or yeah, you had a world title match that went for like 10 seconds. It's surprised. I remember that match so well 10 years ago. I remember that match very well 10 years ago. When he was at a W title shot for like 10 seconds. It's just not working. Like, dude, you were over back in what, 2011 and whatnot. And then that kind of, was low key sabotage, either by the company or maybe John Cena himself. But you know, I'm surprised he was even in WWE that long when I think about it sometimes, okay? Because I just look at him right now. I'm like, yes, everybody says, yes, he is in incredible shape. But, dude, what makes him interesting? Like, dude, you're still the woo 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 guy, okay? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, the only thing, what is he really doing? What, just some podcast about action figures, I think, with Kurt Hawkins or something? So, I've told you before, I thought Myers reinvented himself more than fucking Cardona. All right, I thought Myers felt like a different person when he came to Impact. Once he kind of shedded the Kurt Hawkins thing off him, I look at Matt Cardona. It's like Zack Ryder light. That's what it looks like. It's Zack Ryder light and whatnot. That's why I was so questionable. Like, this guy's in the main event of the pay per view for the world title. Are you
And that's
kidding
why I
me?
didn't main event.
So I can understand. The more I talk about it, the more I can understand now why it wasn't the main event. I can understand that now. The
And
more
it's
I,
not even it's not even a Matt Cardona problem. It's an Impact problem. They have remember back when we did the other podcast when the end of the year wrap up, and I said that AEW has like a plethora of people that could be challenging for the world championship right now. Like at any point in time, any one of these guys could be world champion. They have the inverse problem that AEW has, where they've got a flourishing women's division, but their main event scene is trash. While AEW has a great main event scene, but their women's division needs a lot of work. So it's
yeah,
like anybody feels like they could be next in line to be facing Mickey James right now, but who feels like they should be facing Moose next? And if Josh is the one that beats Moose, which he should be, who's there to face Josh next for the title? That what, Morrissey again? And then what? Like
because like, what other strong heels do you have right now? What other top heel guys are there, or even top faces? Like, who else is really that built up enough to be in contendership for the world title? I think Macklin, if you build him up right enough, he could be a main event guy and whatnot. But like I said, when you look at it, who you really got right now out of like maybe 3 or 4 people and whatnot. Like, who's really next for the world title and stuff. So
they
yeah,
got to throw
it's
some money around, man. There's some people out there. Y'all need to throw some money around because
like, hey
y'all
man,
need
WWE,
names.
hey man, WWE letting go anybody nowadays. So shit, you better as well start picking up Timothy Thatcher or
Samoa Joe,
some more. Yes, bring back Joe if you have to. Joe worked here before and whatnot. Like, hey, you put the belt back on Christian, put it back on another TNA original and whatnot. You let him go. You let like everybody just released this week. We're in TNA at one point. Okay, like come on, like you said, Joe, fucking Road Dog, all those guys. I'm not saying put the belt back on him, but like they were there at some point in time. So yeah, you start throwing some money to get half these releases because, like, come on, WWE didn't let go of half damn near everybody. I'm not saying they're gonna get Regal or something, but like, yeah, you have to get some people because right now, unless you ain't really got nobody built up right now, the main event scene ain't really popping right now. So, like I said, I'm cool with Moose winning again, but yeah, I just felt like this triple threat match didn't really need to happen, and this didn't Matt Cardona no favors. So
no
it was what it
favors.
was, just a very overbooked finish.
It was designed to do him no favors. Like they purposely said, we're going to treat this guy like garbage leading up to it, and then we're going to throw everything in this match. Like even when the ref took that spear, Matt Cardona isn't even the one who got the visual pin. It was Morrissey. Morrissey was the one who had Moose pin when the ref was down. So it's not even like they did the ref spot to get over that Cardona could have beaten him. Like nah, they gave this man nothing. Like,
Yeah, nothing. They gave this man nothing. Okay, like he really had really nothing on his side. Like I said earlier, you got all these fucking truth promos and stuff. So come on now. You knew what the deal was gonna be. Okay, and no one did. He had no favors on his side. It was just too much shit that was true about him. Like, yeah, this guy really does suck. So why should he even be in the fucking main event picture? Well, you have to understand, he's got Chelsea Green. It's his honeymoon. He's telling this underdog sympathy story, and I'm like, well, it don't look like it's helping.
and you know what? They could easily rectify all of this in the next weeks. They could have him cut a promo where he's down on his luck and he starts getting this more aggressive streak and start maybe he turns heel or something. Like they could easily fix all of this if they want to, but the way they booked all of this leading up to this match and the match itself, they didn't give no shits about Matt Cardona, bro.
Oh, they didn't, and this match did not really do him any favors. Also, so I'm like, hey, Moose won. That's all I really kind of cared about. I'm like, Moose retained. I'm like, good, thank fucking God, because I did not need him losing the belt right now after he just won it. So I
The
was,
man
I,
got pinned on a slow count too, bro.
oh yeah, and the first referee had to go like 1, 2, 3.
I was
That
like, so he's kicking out, right? But nah, he
fucking
did.
buckle bombs and power bombing on the chair and just like 2 referees down, and the first one's got to slowly get up and finally got the count, and like Moose won. I'm like, thank Christ. So that is one thing that was good. So yeah, Moose retained. So good on that part.
And
But
that's not to
in
take
the
away from this. There's nothing to take away from like the work in the match itself. Everybody, worked. Nothing was botched or anything. It was all
yeah,
fine. It's just the booking of this whole storyline has just been so ass, bro.
yeah, everybody worked hard and whatnot. They did everything they could. It's not like I said, it wasn't botchy. It's just the whole story and just giving who was in it and the finished and the overbooking. And like I said, it was just too many people getting involved, and Chelsea's doing dives on people and stuff. I would Moose say like "fuck you" and whatnot. She still jumped and stuff, and she's got to try and grab the chair, and it was just too much going on in this match. So
Man had
yeah,
his wife helping him the whole match and still
yeah,
lost, bro.
she was like after match. She's just doing dives
Golly,
off the
man.
stage, getting in chairs. Like his wife had to help him throughout the whole match.
And he
And
still
he still
lost.
couldn't win. And he still couldn't win. Fuck out of
Trash,
here.
bro.
So yeah, that shit's that was
Terrible, bro.
oh, that was bad. That is so bad. So it is what it is on that one. But in the main event though, Mickey James, Deonna Purrazzo, Knockouts title on the line, Texas Death Match. Now, obviously, it's been a lot of news with Mickey James over the weekend since SmackDown, which was very surprising, in my opinion. And some would really question Mickey James right now because we all know she will be in the Royal Rumble match later on this month, which I was surprised when I saw that on TV because one WWE basically just gave away all the surprises, which I think some people have said like that was supposed to be a surprise, but they literally gave them away. Even though we've seen some of these people in the Rumble match already and whatnot, but I'm like, oh, you're just gonna give away surprises? But then didn't you say before it's because they just they fired half the women already? So who do they have left to put in there? And
They definitely should have saved the Mickey announcement. Because imagine if we didn't know that and we're watching the Rumble and she just showed up as the Knockouts champion. That would be insane.
and the fact that Pat McAfee even said she was the Impact Knockouts champion, I'm like, what the fuck? I had to rewind that on my TV. I'm like, say that again, and because I was just surprised she was in it, and everybody goes back to the whole her being fired and the trash bag thing and what Mark Carano and all that, or just the company itself sending all her belongings back and a trash bag. And some people believe Mickey James sold out, and we've seen people lose their shit online about it. I was surprised. I'm like, oh, Mickey James is back. I'm like, really? Like, and she's in different companies right now and stuff. And the fact that they even mentioned a different company, yeah, I'm like, wow, I was just surprised she came back. But a lot of people just say, you're a sellout. You where your morals at? Where is
Man, you saw
this?
my tweet about it, bro. Niggas acting
Business
like
is
she not just
business.
about to right. She just about to show up, get a bag, get Impact's name on TV, and go about her business, bro. Like people are taking this way, way too personal. Like,
It's the nature of the business and stuff. Because I've seen some people lose their shit online. I've told you who was
oh
saying
yeah.
stuff or tweets, and everybody, which I think he's already buried himself. Everybody said what JD and whatnot that because they said he was just losing his shit. Like he already buried Zelina Vega for even going back and stuff.
And
But
even that I can understand. Like that's still wilding, but even that I can understand because she was pushing
the
for
union.
for the union, and we were all trying to support her through that, and then she just went back. Like that's a lot different than Mickey just showing up to get thrown out in the Rumble, get a bag, and leave and go home.
Like
Like,
she'll probably be in the Rumble match for like 10 minutes anyways, and I'm assuming she'll come out with the Knockouts title now and stuff, and get some type of exposure, like I said, for the company and stuff. So she's just it's not like she ain't about to win the Rumble or anything, but it was surprising when I first heard it. But then it's like I said, business is business. I guess they talked and everything was hashed out and everything was good and stuff. I'm sure she's talked to the, you know, Vince and others in the back about it, or I'm sure they've had some conversation at this point, and maybe they're all cool about it now. Yeah, it was
I mean,
messed
she
up that
said it
happened.
herself after the whole trash bag incident happened. She said Vince called her personally to be like, "Yo, I didn't know about this," and blah blah blah. Like, she already said that they were cool. So I
So
don't know, man. People just want to be mad, bro.
it's not like she's been doing shoot interviews, just burying the fucking company like a lot of other people have done when they leave the WWE and whatnot. Because didn't Regal just get released and he had nothing but good to say about them?
Yeah, now if Gail Kim show up in that bitch, then I'll be like, whoa, because she can't stand that company.
Oh yeah, she takes shots at them all the time. She said a lot of things, even though a lot of it is true. But yeah, she really goes at them and whatnot. So I
She
just
be
saw
shooting when nobody even asked her nothing.
she started doing yeah they did this they did that. Not saying she's not wrong on everything, but she will when every chance she gets she will go at them and whatnot. It's just when I just see a lot of people online just feeling like Mickey James sold out. Where your morals at? Where your dignity at? Huh? You how dare you do this and whatnot? You betrayed the wrestling business, or just like, dude, this is the nature of the business, okay?
And them same niggas is
What
watching Raw and SmackDown every week, man. Miss me with it, bro. Like,
money talks, okay? And like we said before, she talked to Vince personally, okay? And it was all hashed out and everything is good. So it's not like we seen Mickey just bury the company on months in and whatnot. It's fucked up what happened, but have we really seen her like go in interviews just bury the WWE like that? No, we really haven't seen it. I was just surprised she was even in this Royal Rumble match coming up, and the fact they even mentioned Impact, because I'll tell you right now, even a lot of people said this: WWE has gotten Impact more over than AEW ever did.
well, I did like the tweet when I saw that because it was funny, but that is cap. Like,
And
like
I'm
just
not,
because
yeah,
they mentioned it, like we have seen Impact titles defended on AEW television. Like let's not get crazy. Like just because they mentioned Impact on WWE, that did more than You feel me?
it's
Like
it's not like Moose about to show up with the world title defending. This isn't ECW back then when what Taz came out with the ECW title to face Triple H on SmackDown.
right. Let's not start capping for WWE just because they just mentioned Impact on SmackDown. Like this is like AEW still had the world title defended on the first ever Rampage. Like let's relax, guys.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said in the last video we was on, that whole partnership was very one sided, and I was kind of glad it ended because I felt Impact was literally getting no type of advantage from it most of the entire time. It's not like we really saw any other Impact talent show up on AEW anyways and stuff. Like, yeah, we seen some AEW guys show up here and there, but then again, half of those like TNA originals at the same time too. It's not like we saw anyone current from Impact that ever showed up on AEW to do anything. And I always felt like someone from Impact should have got the rub of beating Kenny Omega. Hey, I like Christian. Yes, he is technically a TNA original, but even I felt like that should have went to someone currently, you know, on the Impact roster and whatnot. So
And you're
I
not wrong. Like me saying that, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right about everything you're saying. I'm just saying people love to cap for WWE when it comes to AEW. Just like when that whole stuff with Swole went down and people were touting how great WWE has made with black people all of a sudden. Like
oh
we
yeah,
don't
I
got
did
50
see
years
that.
of history. Like nah, people just like the cap for WWE when it comes to AEW. And
I'm like,
I'm just trying to throw that out there, you know?
because I'm like, yeah, that was like 1 year. Yes, we did have you know, black champions last year. Yes, two black women did main event WrestleMania, but there's a very long history of them, not doing well with black people and whatnot. Okay, and in AEW's case, I can say like, well, this company hasn't really been up that long, and then again, it's like, yeah, we got black people, but a lot of those guys are not. I didn't feel like they're all ready yet, and they're still kind of green. Scorpio Sky, yeah, you could debate on, which I feel like maybe he should have been somewhere farther at this point, and whatnot, instead of just kind of hanging around with Dan Lambert and them just yelling at stuff every week and whatnot. But it's still a lot of talent that's pretty green on AEW now. Yeah, Jay Lethal, I don't know where the fuck he's at right now. I don't know why he's not on TV now. That's very questionable. Where the fuck is he at? Okay, like this guy's a big star, and like, why is he on Dark most of the time? Okay, so you know, people can say like, well, AEW doesn't have a lot of black champions or anything like that. Like, I kind of sat there wondering, like, who the fuck we got? Like, I'm just saying, like, and the ones we do got, like, you know, they not ready yet. Like, get what I mean? So, like, you know, I understood Swole's points, and she made very valid points. But, you know, I told you this in the last video, and whatnot. And listen, this could be debatable about how, yeah, it was probably what the company was giving to her. But I told you before, I didn't think Swole was that good. I felt Swole was exposed after a while. I fell for the hype about her, and I think she was exposed. And if I'm seeing you do that many botches and those many matches, even on dark and stuff, I just kind of said, like, I don't really think she was that cracked up as everybody says she was from the get go.
Yeah, but that's getting to a whole conversation.
But
I'm
yeah, that's
just
a different
saying,
story.
like,
That's a different
people
story.
just like to cap for WWE when it comes to AEW. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, because it's the WWE fans versus the AEW fans. Like you said before, they were really going like, well, we've had all these black champions in WWE last year. Tell me for the rest of the time. Okay, that's
Yeah.
last year. Give me the past 10 years. Give me the past 20 years. Okay? Give me the past 30 years, and then we'll see then. Okay? So, you know, everybody's having like, oh man, they got an Impact over. I'm like, dude, that was like one time. And listen, I don't think the WWE's about to buy Impact also. I don't see that happening. Come on, you had
Who
like half
said
the
that?
oh, that's already going online. They did like, yeah, the WWE, they're about to buy Impact. I'm like, really?
Golly, bro.
I don't see that happening. And then yeah, we just had like half the fucking what Ring of Honor roster show up on this show. So who said they was buying anybody? Then again, people still think WWE's buying Ring of Honor. Like, I ain't heard nothing about that.
WWE trying to sell. They ain't trying to buy nobody.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying WWE's trying to. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing throughout for months now. People saying, is Vince selling? Is Vince and Nick Khan selling the company? We're firing all these guys and all this other shit. Like, people been saying that for a good minute now. I don't think Vince is selling the company, but I've heard it for a good minute now. Oh, they're selling to NBC or Disney or something. Like, I hope to God it's not Disney. But you know, that's what I've been hearing for months now. So what do you mean they're about to buy Impact or they're about to buy Ring of Honor? So I think people did kind of go overboard saying like, yeah, man, they got Impact more over than AEW ever did. That was one mention. One
If Mickey
mention.
comes out in the Rumble with the belt on and they play hardcore country and not her WWE theme, then I'll be like, okay, well, we got something. But that's not going to happen. So people need to stop capping.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if she came out the hardcore country. I'd really be surprised. Like I said, it made headlines this weekend. It really did. But some people did go overboard. Like the real Forbidden Door is open. I'm like, is it?
Capping, bro.
Like everybody gotta stop throwing this Forbidden Door around. I think they throw this door a little bit around. I remember, was it months ago? People thought WWE and New Japan was about to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody thought that was gonna happen. Like, yeah, man, they're gonna work with New Japan. Yeah. Yo, we're gonna be seeing New Japan's guys show up on WWE. I'm like, dude. So you sitting there telling me Tanahashi just gonna show up on Raw like that, or
But what
Naito?
people don't understand is Mickey is not signed to Impact. She's doing her own thing. Like she's a free agent pretty much. She can show up wherever she wants. It's a whole lot different than if Deanna Prazo show up in the Royal Rumble. That's a whole different story. But Mickey can go and do whatever she want, bro. Sure,
And
she had to talk it over, but she's not signed.
let's remember too, not Deanna, but Mickey was she on like not Ring of Honor, NWA, running a whole
Exactly.
show at one point, doing a whole women's pay per view and
Exactly.
stuff and all that, and on NWA several times. So, you know, come on, her being on here and being back in Impact, like I said, it's a free agent thing. Like, just this is only a one time thing with WWE right now, just to show up in the Rumble. I didn't think it was smart to just give away all the surprises like that. But you know, this is only, like you said, it's a one time thing. She'll be in the match for like maybe what 10, 15 minutes tops or whatnot. You know, come out with the belt, get her check, and you know, hey, business is business. It's just business. I mean, a lot of, like you said earlier, a lot of people online are taking this way too far and way too personal, like they just got robbed or something.
What I was surprised at was how much they mentioned that in the main event. Like they were putting over Mickey being in the Rumble like WWE was some upstart company that they're trying to get over. Like they're like, yeah, Mickey James will be in the Royal Rumble. Like I swear Tom Phillips said that like 10 times. I'm like, bro, we're already going to watch the Rumble. You ain't got to sell me on the Rumble, bro. What are you doing?
Like, yo, we know what the Rumble match is. Like, we've known it for years. Everybody knows what the Royal Rumble. It's not like it's a match no one ever heard of before. It's been here for the past 30 something years. So let's not act like we don't know what a Royal Rumble is. Like, we all know what the Royal Rumble is. They just
Make
act
sure
like
you watch the Rumble so you don't
make
miss
sure
Mickey James.
make sure you see Mickey James. That's the only thing you need to see. Watch Mickey James. Watch Mickey James. So just make sure you see it. Just yeah. We're gonna tell you. So they were really putting that over. But yeah, the match itself, uh, it's like you said earlier. We already saw one hardcore match, and now we're seeing another one in the main event. It does kind of take away, from some spots here, because the way to win this match, you got to pin the person first and get a 3 count. Then they got to start counting 10.
Yeah, Texas Deathmatch rules.
Yeah, because, and it's like you said earlier, yeah, we saw Roxy out there watching on. And let's remember, Deanna came also out with the Reina de Reinas championship, the AAA one and stuff. But, it wasn't a bad match.
Oh
Like I said,
no, not by any means.
wasn't bad. I thought the finish was a little bit botchy, especially with the DDT. I thought the DDT would have been on tax and stuff, and Matthew Redwall getting involved several times, even though I felt like he's not fired then, right? Because we got guitars being hit out here, and
Yeah, he didn't touch her, so that was the main thing they were trying to get over. Like, if you touch Mickey, then you're fired, but he didn't touch her.
yeah, and like I said, we saw some blood and just chair shots, kendo sticks, like I said, trash cans, thumbtacks and stuff. So it was a lot of crazy shit in this match, guitars. So yeah, like I said, it was still a hardcore match, but I did get you to understand your point though. Like we saw one like 2 matches ago. So did we? It's almost like this was one of the main ones you were building up. So did we really need to have 2 hardcore matches on this show?
Yeah, this was built up so well, like for months and months. This was built way better than than the world title match. And they spent so much time establishing that these two hate each other, that they want to kill each other. Deanna showed up on her farm and whooped her ass. Like this was built so well for months and months that it came to a crescendo right here where they're going out all balls to the wall, blood, chairs, tables, all that, power drivers off the top rope through tables. Like that's all fantastic. But we kind of just saw all of this like 30 minutes ago. They should never have put both of those matches on the same card because this match is the main event. This is the one that you've built to be this huge blow off. While that one you kind of just threw together in a couple weeks. You could have made that a cage match or something different than just
Legal
a hardcore
lockdown.
match. Yeah, because why would you, what are we going to see in this match that we didn't just see in that match? I mean, that match even had barbed wire and stuff in it. Like, why
And
are we?
fire.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Well, maybe not. Well, a sprit of fire, but yeah, my point though, I'm trying to say, like, we did see that.
It
But
created an
still,
expectation. Like when Mickey grabbed that table, and a couple of fans started chanting "Light it on fire," and it's like, well, yeah, we just saw somebody light something on fire. Do that because we just saw it in the other match. Why not doing it? Like why even put them in a position? So I felt like I didn't love this match as much as I was hoping I would, just because I was all hardcore out, man. We literally just saw this 2 matches ago, and now this match is kind of just doing the same stuff. And granted, I mean, yeah, the finish was kind of came out of nowhere. It probably could have stood to go longer, but yeah, it's like I I don't know for how long they built this match. It didn't really feel when it ended because I just was as into it as I was hoping I would be, and that's not to take away from what they did in the match because I mean they worked their asses off as they do. They were really doing some crazy stuff in this match that was great. But it was just like, man, dude, why did we have two hardcore matches on here? And maybe there is a way around that where some spots could be different so much that you don't make that comparison. But I didn't see anything that really separated them. Like we got power drivers through tables in both matches. We got chair shots. We got kendo sticks. Like it wasn't enough to differentiate it for me to be like, yeah, this match stood leaps and bounds over that match. I was just more interested in the story, and that's why I'm giving it more brownie points than maybe it even deserved.
Yes, because like you just said, this has been built up for many multiple accounts of months now. And like I said, it was a good match. I just felt, we just saw it like 30 minutes, beforehand. And then again, once I knew that Mickey was in the Rumble, that was already kind of telling me at the same time she was going to retain the title and whatnot. That's what kind of got me about that. 'Cause I'm like, she's going to retain this belt, isn't she? Because either she's really showing up in the belt to Rumble with this or not. But that's what kind of gave it away. But like I said, they both worked hard out there. It was a blood feud match. It had to come to an end at this point. But like you said, you didn't really need two hardcore matches on this show because we just saw what we saw here. Like once again 30, 40 minutes ago, well, we saw this, we saw tables, we saw thumbtacks, we saw all these spots and everything here, tables, all the whole 9 yards and stuff, chairs, all that and whatnot. So it's like we just saw this match, okay? And like I said, it was really good. And like I said, the main was the main event. The crowd seemed into it, so they did pop off for it and whatnot, um, and stuff. So yeah, it was what it was. I don't know what's really could happen next now, because with Roxy being out there, because before it was Deanna going chat for this whole winner take all belts thing. So now is it going to be Mickey James versus Roxy at one point, or are we just going to keep the belt on Mickey James until after the Royal Rumble or something, and then the belt changes possibly back to Deanna and whatnot?
Yeah, the way it ended was like they were strapped for time or something because
I expected something to happen
Mickey
after.
sat down in a chair and looked at Deanna. Yeah, I thought Deanna was going to get up, maybe show respect or something, or Roxy was going to get in the ring to stare them both down, tease a triple threat for all the belts, or Tasha Steeles was going to come out and still like it kind of just ended. Like Mickey won. That's it. See you later. Okay. Well, what that's it? That's all you got?
Yeah, sorry, mic wasn't working right there for a second. But yeah, I do get your point though. Yeah, I thought something was about to happen at the end, but it's like you said, they probably were strapped for time and they had to go off the air. Then, this isn't the first time they've done this before. Going off the air when something looked like it's about to happen. Like wasn't that back at Slammiversary? Jay White and them come out and then we saw someone running from behind, and it's like, wait, you ended the show too early. And then they had to show it up on
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
like a couple days later because they ended the show way too early when something important was happening. Because I expected something to happen after, like you said, with maybe Tasha Steele, something. Because I was expecting a surprise to happen from the end of that match, but it just abruptly ended and went to the credit screen, and that was kind of it. So it happened and it was done, and all they really did was just promote Rebellion wherever Rebellion's going to be, and now
And the
everybody's looking
Royal
at
Rumble.
and the Royal Rumble and stuff. But you saw the question mark on the Rebellion graphic and whatnot. So now it was like a question mark there. I guess now they're saying who's gonna show up, what's gonna happen now. So now I guess they're trying to see who's gonna show up at Rebellion. That's a big question and stuff, what they're trying to
That's how
do.
they promoted Bound for Glory last year, or was it last year? Or was it the year before that where there were releases and nobody knew who would show up?
Yeah, I feel like they did that. They did it. Yeah, they did more last year and whatnot. They kind of did a little bit this year too. The one that just happened, but it was more of last year because that's when the releases were big and they kept showing like either
Oh yeah,
pictures type,
Rusev and
uh,
Samoa
Samoa
Joe.
Joe, Kurt Angle, um, like it was like several people. They've been in Impact before, or they never been in Impact, or like flags of multiple countries and stuff. Or even it was like even from this year, I remember they showed like clips from New Japan thinking Okada was gonna show up, something
Hmm.
and whatnot. So they were really kind of doing the same thing. I think it was more surprises the years before though, because we saw a lot of people show up and whatnot. And like Rebellion, what they had the Omega logo on there before, because Kenny Omega and stuff. But now it's just like it's a question mark this time. So it's probably one of those like, okay, who's gonna show up this time? What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be some surprise, something like that? Because now they're trying to like, all right, who's the mystery of what's gonna happen in the next of all of this and whatnot. So that's what it looked like they building towards next. So I'd see somebody gonna show up. I'm not really sure, but then again, like I said before, with all these releases that happen left and right nowadays, you don't know who gonna show up on there.
Yeah, they need people. Just like we were saying, talking about that world title match, it'll behoove them to throw some money around, man. Get somebody. I don't expect them to get Cross because I'm sure that bridge is burned.
Oh yeah, Cross and Scarlet ain't going back. I don't. Nah, they kind of said themselves they not going back. It was too many problems anyways, and like pay cuts and stuff like that. So I don't see Cross and him going back. I don't even see Joe going back, to be honest. Like maybe, but I don't. I wouldn't really see it at the same time. Like I'd be surprised if Samoa Joe would show back up in Impact, though. It'd be very surprising and whatnot. But I'm not. I don't think he may be coming
I
back.
fully expect. I expect Tony Khan to throw the freaking Brinks truck at Samoa Joe, but I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
Joe would be more valuable to Impact than AEW right now.
true. Because you look at AEW, the main event scene is really kind of full right now, very bloated and whatnot. And we've said this before. We can't just sign everybody that gets released, and we all have to assume all of them are gonna go to AEW and whatnot. Cause I'm like, dude, we can't send everybody to AEW. Some probably have questioned some of the names AEW signed, because even I've got like some other people. So let me get this straight: they signed Tony Nese or Jake Atlas, but you can't sign Buddy Murphy. Hello,
What's Buddy Murphy doing?
dude. Last time I
What's
saw
Buddy
him,
Murphy doing?
the last time I saw him, he was on New Japan facing Okada.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
and
I
he
remember.
had a match in House of Glory too, I think.
I think was that against Black, right?
So I don't know, man.
I'm
Yeah,
not. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't.
because Black was supposed to face Amazing Red, I think, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, so now it's against Murphy. So yeah, we didn't really know where he was going. So it's like I said, it's like yeah, they've been releasing all these guys, but come on, man, how many of them really about to be in AEW like that? They got to go to other companies right now. Like I said, you got Impact around, you got New Japan around. I can't even count Ring of Honor right now. Um, NWA, well, um,
Nobody's going
I,
to NWA.
I, after that last show I saw, and they only had like 40 people in the crowd, and I don't even think that was all due to COVID. I just don't think nobody bought tickets. When
I
I saw,
wouldn't have.
yeah, and this was in the studio they usually in, and you still barely had anybody. But then again, come on, look who's the main event.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Trevor Murdoch versus Mike Knox, a match I would have seen on ECW in 2006, and an undercard match too. But it's for the world title though. Oh,
Yeah, best thing they got going is their women's division for sure.
let's remember Mick Cardona was there too, going for the belt
Of
now.
course.
Of course, let's bring all these WWE rejects in. These undercard guys for a world championship. Yes, the NWA world title. Yes, a lot of top names in the past. Yeah, yeah, from Dusty to Flair to hell, even what Sting, AJ Styles and whatnot. The end Christian Cage, Kurt Angle, but Trevor Murdoch, folks. Uh yeah, I don't know who's in the. I honestly I don't even really even know who's all in the NWA at this point. Even that MLW show. And I don't watch a lot of that, but I hear a lot of things about them nowadays.
Yeah,
I
they've
be
been
hearing,
on the upswing, man. These
yeah,
last
they
couple
be
of
making
years, their names
moves.
have been mentioned a lot. Yeah,
They be making some moves, so I'll give them that. They be making some moves and some partnerships and a whole bunch of other things. So I don't watch a lot of them, but like I know a little of what's going on there and what they're even on TV to some extent too. Like I think it was on Vice TV if I'm not mistaken, but at least I can say they're on something and they've been making some moves. So I'll give them credit for that. So I've seen people at least kind of go over there, but yeah, like like you say, Impact they do need some people. Hell, get Keith Lee if you have to.
sure, that would be amazing. That's just like I said about Joe, man. I would love to see Keith Lee in AEW, but he'd probably be more valuable to Impact right now because a lot of people want to see Keith Lee wrestle, and they need main eventers, and that's boom right there. That's a great one right there.
Yeah, you need a top name, someone that has some type of value, something right now. Because I'm sitting there like, yeah, man, the main event picture scene ain't really going nowhere when you got Matt Cardona in the world title picture. Okay, that tells you it's not really going nowhere, and that's why that match wasn't the main event. Okay, so like I said, you need to grab whoever the fuck y'all, somebody that got released from WWE that's got some value to them, and put them on this show. That's what I could see happening. So, that's what I would expect. But
Yeah, Bray Wyatt's out there too.
is he like doing movies or something now? Like I keep
Yeah,
hearing he's
but
going.
as soon as the itch to come back and wrestle hits him, people will be throwing money at him too.
Oh yeah, I heard they were already trying to, but when then I heard AEW trying to, they weren't trying to.
As far as I know, Tony Khan wants him in AEW. I don't necessarily want to see him in AEW if he's going to be doing spooky shit because that doesn't need to be on AEW. But Impact's all about that stuff, so that makes all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah, they've been kind of a little bit doing a little bit too much of that lately. It worked at one point in a way, but now it's just kind of it looks a little bit ridiculous and looks very low budget Adobe lightning effects and whatever. I don't even know at this point because I don't even know if Sue Young will probably be on there right now since they kind of said she was legitimately pregnant now. So and then she killed off her minions with like force lightning. Apparently, like she's a Jedi now or something. So
A Sith Lord.
oh, sorry, Sith Lord, wrong one, not a Jedi. Yeah, they don't got force lightning. She's part of Sith, and she can kill her own minions, but then reveal she's legitimately pregnant now. So I don't know. It's because I was wondering why she went on TV at one point, but hey, good for Rich Swann though.
Sure, I guess that's probably the best thing going in his life right now. So,
'Cause I don't really see the guy really doing nothing else other than dancing to the ring. I don't really know what they got going on. It's like I said that tag match earlier. It doesn't look like they had a lot going for these guys. So yeah, Bray Wyatt. Honestly, I rather, like I said, I don't mind seeing him back, but yeah, we can't do another one of these like over the top spooky gimmicks. Like, listen, it worked when he was like the cult leader in a way with the Hawaiian shirt and the fedora on and stuff, but
and
like
technically, he wasn't even doing spooky shit back then.
he was just more, what's the word for it? It wasn't spooky, but it was very like cult like or kind of
Yeah,
like
all that's the real spooky stuff started when he grew the dreads out and they like rebooted the Wyatt family or whatever, and he started teleporting everywhere, and he had that
he's
feud with John Cena and all that. Like,
he's Undertaker 2.0 and
yeah,
yeah, like I said, like shooting lightning out his hands and sheep. Well, the sheep mask was the sheep mask, but then you got all the chilling out there, singing. He's got the whole world in his hands and stuff, and
exactly.
and then I told you before, his promos just became the same thing every other week. Sir, you are a liar. You are a liar, and exploding TVs and
Terrible.
holograph holographs or whatever the holograms and stuff. So like I kind of liked it better when he was like the guy in the rocking chair, being a cult leader and stuff more than I liked Fiend. I can hit you with 10,000 moves, but you still kick out at one, and I always thought that was some bullshit. and whatnot. And then apparently he was too difficult to work with in the back. And they gave him free reign. And what I heard, they said Vince gave him free reign.
That was such bullshit, bro. This man was unkillable. And then he finally comes back and loses the one RKO. Like,
Yeah, Randy, man, he's spitting up the black blood every other week. And okay, you gonna come out and spit up this black blood and just, Randy sets him on fire. He set him on fire. And he still came back. And he lost to an RKO. And then they fired him and they gave his whole gimmick to Alexa Bliss then.
man, people are talking about Alexa coming back and winning the Rumble. I'm just like, come on.
I know they announced last week she was coming back, but I'm like, she's not winning the Rumble. And I don't see that happening because apparently Sasha's hurt right now, to what I've heard, about a foot injury or something.
Yeah, she gonna be out.
If she's gonna be out, she'll be back by WrestleMania then.
Bro, if they
I
have Alexa Bliss win the Rumble, just know I'm done, bro.
I can't see that happening. I can't. And if they do bring whatever form of Bliss, I'm assuming they're gonna bring her back as the whole goddess thing, or which is best they should, because the puppet doll thing was, I'm like, so she just got Bray Wyatt's whole gimmick now, right? It was not working. And like I said, the talking puppet, which the people seem to like the puppet, it was kind of getting over towards the end, but I'm like, yeah, if it's regular Bliss, I'd probably be a little bit more okay with that than, Bray Wyatt 3.0 out here. But yeah, I don't need to see her win the fucking Rumble though. I don't need to see that. I don't, like, shit. As whatever that weird storyline they doing on SmackDown, I need to have Naomi win and whatnot, because I don't even know how far they still going with this Deville Naomi shit.
Oh, that'd be cool as hell if Naomi won the Rumble.
Yeah, something, because like I'm like, Deville, she keeps fucking her over every week, so when's she gonna do something? Okay, shit, I wouldn't be mad if Bianca won this 2 times in a row.
Hey, yo, I'm looking at this time. You gonna have to
Yeah,
cut
let me.
all this out, bro.
Yeah, we're going a little bit too far now. We start, but yeah, overall thought of the pay per view. Let's end this, because this is almost going like an hour and 30 minutes. This review is gone now, and then again, I gotta splice this together anyway. So overall thoughts on the entire Hard to Kill pay per view.
I thought it was great. It was bookended by two really fun women's matches. They had a really good 3 match banger streak in the middle there. The hardcore match was fine. I'm just not invested in it, but it was fine. And the world title match was also fine, but I ain't invested in that. So overall, I say it was a cool breezy 3 hours, man. It went by. The wrestling was good. I got some really satisfying finishes, and honestly, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, agreed. Like I said, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the first 3-4 matches until they got to the hardcore war thing. And it's not like the matches weren't bad, but that's when it kind of started falling off a little from there, with, like I just said, just the match itself with the hardcore war, and then the overbooking of the world title match. And not saying that like I said, the world title match wasn't bad, it was just too much going on. And even with the knockouts match in the end, it's like, hey, it was still really good, but it's like, yeah, we saw a hardcore match like 30, 40 minutes ago and whatnot. But it was still overall a really good show. I thought the crowd was really hyped for it. I think the best matches out of the night was the Ring of Honor World Title match and the X Division title match.
My question to you is, do you think if that Knockouts tag title match was on here, this show would be better or worse off for it?
Um, I don't think it would have made a difference, honestly. Like, I look at the whole inspiration and whatever the influence, that's what they call, yeah, Madison Rain and Tennille, like, it would have been kind of whatever to me in a way and stuff. So I don't think it would have made that much of a difference,
Because this
honestly.
show barely went. It was when I checked the runtime, it was about 2 hours 57 minutes, start to finish, with the opening promo with the end logo coming up. So if that match was on here, either the show would have gone longer, or something that was on here that went longer would have got less time.
Yeah,
So
cause
I don't know.
in like my time, if you count the pre-show over here, it started about 6 o'clock, and then the main show started at 7, and then it went off like about 10 o'clock and whatnot. So yeah, that was like you just said, like almost like 2.5 or 3 hours, and that's if you count the pre-show on that. So it's like the show only had like maybe 7, 8 matches, I think, with one being excluded and stuff. So I think maybe that's why the Hardcore War thing got more timing and stuff due to that match being shaved off. The
Maybe.
knockout tag titles. I probably would say that because the Hardcore War thing did go on for a good minute. And I think if they did go with the knockouts tag titles, I think that match would have probably been shortened a little, and maybe the knockouts tag titles would have had like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. But at the same time, was I really interested in that feud? Not much, in a way, because I didn't really know they were even going to get a match on the pay per view and whatnot. So I'm sure they will do that match at another point in time. But I kind of sit there wondering how, like you said, how many people really were looking forward to the inspiration versus the influence. I don't think the match. I don't think it wouldn't have sucked. I don't think it would have, but it would have been one of those like half glass full type of deals. Like I care to some extent and whatnot. Like, it's the inspiration, iconics, whatever you want to call them. It's them. You already know they're gonna do some type of something possibly wacky or whatnot. Then again, people say they like their theme song a lot, though. I keep hearing that and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if it would have made much of a difference. It would have just been. It probably would have been a cool down match. Now that I think about it, would have been a cool down match.
I think it depends on where it would be in the show if it would affect my liking of the show because after that uh Jonah and Josh Alexander match, if we went straight into that match and then the hardcore war and then the world title match, I think that would have soured my my rating on this show.
Yeah, especially where it would have been positioned on the card and whatnot. Cause like I say, you get like 3 bangers in a row, and then you kind of go to this, and that would have been the cool down match. Like I said, it probably would have been a cool down. Like it would have been okay, but you come off these 3 hot other matches where the crowd's going nuts for, and then you get to this. How many people are really gonna care like that? And how depending if the match was even good or not, it just would have been like a cool down. Because then again, like how many knockouts tag teams do we really get?
uh 3, 4, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, inspiration, influence. I'm assuming Tasha and Savannah are a team. They're just a team. Yeah,
Havoc and
decay,
Rosemary.
decay, decay, decay. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like what 3, 4 teams. That's kind of it. So
Jordan and Rachel sometimes when they want to do that.
yeah, honestly, they should have broke them up. I feel like at this point they should have just turned Jordan heel at the time. They should have went full force with that because even I feel like they just kind of there to be there.
Yeah, Jordan's your digital media champion. What do you mean, bro?
Oh yeah, man, the internet belt. Yeah, well, where's she just happened to come out with it during the Ultimate X match. It's a belt.
It's a
It's
belt.
it's there. It's don't know how much meaning is to it, but it's a belt. So yeah, it's I don't know. I don't even really know. So they low key should have just turned a heel for honestly for the fuck of it though. So but yeah, overall, like I said, this was it was a really good show. I think it started off strong, but it kind of, it was still good, but it wasn't as strong in the first 3 matches and whatnot. Not saying it wasn't still bad towards the end, but you could see just, like I said, from booking or just given who was involved or something we already seen from it, just kind of it's like it lost its sizzle a little. Like you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the pan was on, right? And you're cooking up a steak or whatever, and you're at the highest point of the temperature right there at the end of Josh and Jonah, and then all the steam just gets let out of the pan like right after that.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I would look at it. But but still overall, It was a very good show. A lot of people were talking about it throughout the night and whatnot. A lot of people said they enjoyed this pay-per-view, even if they didn't really watch Impact like that. They even said to themselves they enjoyed it more. They said they enjoyed it. They said they watched that over the damn Battle of the Belts thing AEW had going on.
Who wouldn't really?
But then again, like, come on, what did that show really have? Like, I watched it last night. I'm not gonna say much on it, but like I watched it and it's all you really need to see was Dustin and Sammy. But then again, that was just predictable anyways.
Yeah,
I
I didn't watch it, so I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
didn't even watch it yet?
I ain't watch it.
You didn't miss much, except them trying to set up more feuds. It looked like Sammy won the intern belt, so I guess he's gonna face Cody in some double title thing. Or the only thing I'll say that about this match, if Dustin's doing a fucking Canadian destroyer through a table and then hit you with two crossroads, and you just still happen to get out of it and win by a roll up, I started kind of, my mind was kind of confused by that for a second. I'm like, this guy should be dead. I'm sorry, like. I'm sorry, this dude did a Canadian destroyer off the damn apron onto a table, put you back in the ring, hits two crossbows, but you still went up by a roll up? The fuck? What kind of shit is
Oh,
that?
brother. I'm
Sorry,
surprised
but
Dustin was cool with that, man. He's all about protecting the business. That doesn't even sound like his MO.
I'm thinking Dustin low-key was gonna win then at one point, but like I do they gonna put on Sammy, but come on, and what Arns act like he's gonna pull out the Glock or the strap. Like I get it, man. We know you about the Glock and everything, but I'm just saying, man, you gonna start pulling straps on folks, then that's what they look like he was about to do. He's gonna pull out the strap on somebody. On Fuego del Sol or something. So and like the rest of the show was come on, who really cares about the FTW title? I don't even remember the last time Ricky Starks wrestled.
Why even is that? Like, not to veer off into another conversation, but why are we not seeing Ricky Starks wrestle, bro?
I knew his neck was hurt before, but now I don't even know at this point. He's on commentary on Rampage every week, but okay, he's facing Matt Sydal. And what, then they sent Dante Martin out there to face Hobbs, then like get in his face and something like that. Because they got a match coming up Wednesday, and
And why isn't that a tag team match? Like, I don't know what AEW is doing right now, bro.
I don't get that. And like I'm seeing Baker and Rio, and Baker's team's got all this dissension going on, and Jamie Hayter may leave, and honestly, that show didn't even really need to have. That felt like watching another hour of Rampage.
It's pretty much what they promoted it as, honestly.
I'm surprised they had JR out there on commentary. And you know what the real funny thing is? They brought David Crockett back out there just to give Sammy the TNT belt. I'm like, wait, didn't we do this shit like 2 weeks ago?
What's it look like?
Same belt.
Hmm.
So nothing really different. So I just sat there like they only did this show because it's like Battle of the Belts. You just did 3 title matches last Wednesday. Why the hell are we doing this show now? So because everybody's got to get their belt on TV, and then it's a belt that no one really even cares about to begin with, like the FTW title. I'm like, dude, it's like what is this belt really even worth it? Like it's not even ECW. So I'm like, I don't know. Like I kind of skipped through some of the show anyways. I didn't really even care that much. It was another hour Rampage. I'm surprised they even did a show that night. Like you said, when the minute they took Cody off, the show became even more mid. It was just way mid, very predictable. And it's like, oh, Daniel Garcia's coming after Sammy now. So title match Wednesday. So I'm I guess I'm not gonna speak much on that. It was whatever because I'm like, you know what? Let me go see what this show is about since I finished watching Hard to Kill. So let me see what this is about. And I honestly, you wouldn't have really missed much on here.
So from
It,
what I heard, Cody was removed from that match because of COVID protocol. So are we saying that Cody is going to be gone for so long that we have to have an interim championship? Like, people be coming back from this joint in like 2 weeks.
yeah, apparently 5 days now. Whatever they said, apparently like was like 5 days now. They trying to do it, but yeah, it's not like he's gonna be gone that long. Well, they never even said COVID on TV. They kept saying it's a medical thing, so Cody's gonna be gone. I'm like, well, what I kept hearing was like COVID, but now they saying something different now. It's a medical thing. It's a medical thing. So how
I guess
long
he's
is
going
he?
to be long enough to justify an interim champion.
because I'm like, is this even really necessary? Because like I said, until we saw Rampage, that's when we knew he wasn't gonna be on the show at the last second. And I'm like, so we're just doing an intern belt. So you just basically, I'm like, well, we already know who's gonna win then. So I don't know. At least they lean. I guess they lean into something, but still though, it's like there was really no point in watching this show at this. I'm surprised it was live. It was actually live. This was a
Wow.
live show.
I mean, that nobody was going to watch it if it wasn't live.
I guess so. So it was only 1 hour anyway. So it was what it was. That's it. I didn't really care that much. It is what it is. It was just like, yeah, it's nothing really much to care about this show. Like I said, once they took Cody off, there was nothing really to care about at that point in time. And this is what we got. Because I'm like, so what other belts y'all gonna put on the line? You just did 3 title matches on Wednesday, so what else is y'all gonna put? And boom. So yeah, you didn't miss much.
Didn't seem like it. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Uh, what was I gonna say? Got anything to plug?
Currently, no, not really. I mean, same stuff as always, man. DAR Elite, Shaka's Apollo, Mask Tape 2. Watch out for any more DAR Elite drops from either myself, Black Shaggy, JPEG's 11, JPEG's the Legend, True God. Um, I'll keep you posted. But nah, at this point in time, I'm chilling, man. I'm working on something. But right now, everybody just vax up, mask up, do whatever you got to do to keep yourself and your family safe, man.
Yeah, just stay safe out there. Be cautious where you at. I'm not saying don't go nowhere, but be careful who you around and whatnot. Because I've seen things lately, and some stuff for people I know it is going good, or it's not really going good, or it's the people around them that you know are getting it. So just stay safe out here and be cautious on where you go and whatnot, because you never know. This stuff can change by the dime and change by the minute. So you never know what you see about this whole thing every day. Okay. So yeah, I'm
Couldn't
not
have
even
said it
going to.
better.
Yeah, so that's all I'm really gonna take from that. I'm not gonna go into another rant about that whole thing. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Hooded Knight 890. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this entire pay-per-view. Did you enjoy this pay-per-view? Did you not enjoy this pay-per-view? What was your favorite part, match, anything? Anything you want to speak on this whole show? Just in general. Like what did you think about just this whole, thing, and what's next for, Impact and whatnot after Hard to Kill. So I enjoyed it. So yeah, I hope everybody else did out there too. So other than that, peace out. We will see y'all then. And yeah, this is we're basically at the end of the video. I got editing and timestamps to put up. So
Yeah,
peace
I'm
out
gonna
to
go cook
everybody out.
dinner.
Yeah, peace out every day. Peace out everybody. So yeah.